Welcome, everybody. This is Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, Chronic Lyme, and other miserable skin parasites. With me today is Robin, my co-host, Ethel, our greeting coach, and Megan, our newest coach, and also we have Margie, the lady who helped us start this call a couple of years ago, who is going to go through a quality of resiliency later. The way I've looked at the call today and organized it is we're going to have the topic first. The topic is antibiotics. Antibiotics. Oh, they're the miracle cure, you know. I need to give, first of all, an FDA disclosure. This is important. The FDA requires me to inform everybody on the call that because none of us are physicians, before you start the diet, the King diet, or accept any of the recommendations in my protocol, that you're to thoroughly discuss them with your doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. The AMA also wants me to let you know that we do not diagnose you. We do not cure, we do not mitigate, we do not treat. Okay, that's for doctors. What we can do is educate you how to clean these organisms out of your body utilizing the diet, the special diet, clean them out of your skin using bathing protocols, and cleaning them out of your environment using disinfection protocols, and build health and immune functioning utilizing targeted supplements. Okay, now that's my disclosure. Now, how often have you heard your doctor tell you that I'm going to put you on antibiotics, and I need to warn you that they can destroy your gut biome, and they can also screw up your epithelial cells that are in your skin. Oh, wait a minute! I have a skin problem. I have Morgellons. It's destroying my skin, and these things are going to do what? They might do what? No, you haven't heard the doctor say that, but he should be. He should be. Now, okay, what we are at the result of a war that started back in the 30s. It was a political war between the head of the AMA then, whose name I don't remember, and Dr. Rife. Dr. Rife, if you know the man, he spent his entire life studying harmonics. Harmonics are powerful. If you go on Google and you search for bridge collapse due to harmonics, I don't remember the exact name of the bridge, but it was built in the last century, a beautiful bridge. And this is before civil engineers knew about harmonics. And because of the wind going past this bridge, at a certain time, the damn bridge started doing this and collapsed. A bridge, a huge bridge that holds tons and tons, millions of tons. The wind destroyed it. Whether it be bacteria, whether it be virus, whether it be fungus, has a harmonic. And Dr. Rife developed this technique. So through the use of friendly electromotive forces, friendly frequencies, they could be used to destroy cancer, any kind of cancer, viruses, bacteria, strep throat, anything you can think of. And he was well recognized. Well, around the same time, if you go back in history and you check it out, we have penicillin being developed, the miracle drug. Hey, you don't have to sit down and have these vibrations affect you or whatever and to destroy things. You just take the shot in your arm and everything's great. Penicillin is fantastic. It has saved millions and millions of lives, pneumonia and all kinds of problems over the years. And the more sophisticated we got with antibiotics, the more sophisticated the bugs got. So when we're dealing with antibiotics, we have another problem that comes in. Because how many of you have been given antibiotics and say it was for 10 days You felt great after 7. So you figured, oh, hell, I don't need to take those antibiotics. I'm done. I'm done with them. Well, that was a mistake. We have participated because we didn't listen to the doctor who said take them for 10 days, and we stopped at 7, and we started breeding superbugs. MRSA, the newest one to hit the front, Candida auris, which is around over a year ago. I think I had an update about it. We have superbugs. Now, the antibiotics, the antifungals, they don't touch these superbugs, and we have to keep developing better antibiotics, better antifungals to hopefully deal with these superbugs. And guess what? If you get that superbug and you take the super antibiotic and you don't take it again, for the full length, you could breed another superbug. So it's superbugs after superbugs. Where does that leave us with Morgellons? Well, the bottom line is, since the AMA and the FDA recognize that antibiotics are the way to go today, we are stuck with that. And the best thing to do is, if you have Morgellons disease, aka Lyme disease, as the Morgellons physicians will treat you as Lyme disease. There's no diagnosis for Morgellons disease at this point, other than delusional parasitosis, or, well, that's probably, and they treat you with other types of medications. But the physicians that are associated with Morgellons Foundation, they use antibiotics. So go that route, get your appointment. Hey, that appointment could be, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks away, maybe 6 weeks away. Okay, so now you have a choice. You can wait around for 6 weeks and itch and scratch and itch and scratch. And if you read the some of our blog posts, itching actually contributes to release of hormones in your body that actually encourage these organisms to grow more. Okay, so it's like they're self-feeding in a sense like that. So, or you could learn from some of my accidents. The King diet, for instance, was an accident. Without that King diet and me having discovered it, I'd probably dead. Suicide, I don't know. And there are hundreds of people that have used it to get their lives back, and who knows where they might have been without it. It's not a cure, but it can seem very much like a cure. Because once you make that diet kick in, it's amazing. It's like you go from a level of crazy itching to almost zero. It's that powerful. That cleans them out of your body. Now, then we do the bathing and we do the disinfecting, and that's fantastic. The other accidents I discovered after I had developed or come down with really incredible Lyme disease that basically crippled me. I could barely walk. My handwriting went to zero. I couldn't hold a pencil to write. I mean, that was it. Well, the first accident came along was a product called Max 1, which is in our store. It's a glutathione accelerator. And if you read the research and you read the blog post, you're going to find out that Lyme disease loves toxicity. They live in a cesspool. And our bodies, with the pollution and mercury that we get from seafood and others, and playing with it in high school. I used to do that. And pesticides accumulate in our cells. Our cells are a cesspool, and Lyme disease is happy. Well, glutathione happens to be the body's detoxifier. It gets rid of all that junk. It cleans it up. So with that phenomenal discovery, my symptoms went from 100% of 24/7 pain and agony down to 5%. And then what I noticed was when I got stressed out, then the symptoms would surface. I like to be on time. So if I was going to be late for an appointment, my brain would kick into some kind of stress mechanism, and I would start feeling the symptoms. And then along a couple of years later, the garcillin, which is said to be a natural antibiotic, antiviral, antiprotozoan, antifungal. Now, I had taken colloidal silver before, and that had never done much of anything for me. And I'm not putting down colloidal silver, but acillin seems to open up a whole brand new world of discovery. And so with the multivitamin, with the ionic minerals, that's also part of the Lyme pack, and the boosting the glutathione and the acillin, I'm at 99.9% recovery. I'm great. I could do anything. And many people have achieved the same thing with this basically nutritional pack. And hey, forgot to tell you, I had gone through 6 months of antibiotics before my life fell apart with Lyme disease. I had been diagnosed 8 months before with Lyme disease, did the 6 months of antibiotics, had no symptoms whatsoever, and then all hell broke loose. Who knows why, but Lyme disease came with a vengeance, and I beat it. And many have beat it. So this is not a cure. We can advise you how to build health and nutrition, and that's what it is. So, okay, set up your appointment with the specialist doctor. The free report that I have, the last 3 updates that went out were about this subject. They're a little more detailed than what I'm covering today. Please read them. They have references. You can go to the references and read about how antibiotics destroy your epithelial cells and your gut biome. You can go on the Morgellons site and read that the antibiotics don't work long term. People have had antibiotics, the Lyme disease does come back, aka Morgellons. Okay, so use this approach, and you may need less treatment or more moderate treatment, or perhaps like me, no further treatment whatsoever. So, okay, so if there's anyone who had put in a phone number that would like to ask a question, I don't think we did that specifically for this segment. So do you have anything to add to that, Robin? You went through Lyme disease yourself, and you went through with the antibiotics and without the benefit of Max 1 and garcillin.
Yes, I did, and I was on antibiotics for 6 years. But I was taking tons of probiotics and prebiotics, and I feel really, I wouldn't have gotten out of bed without the antibiotics, so they helped tremendously for me. But yeah, if there's another way, if I had known of another way, I would have gone that route, you know, because they are harmful and they do help superbugs, and eventually I developed serum sickness from it, which is when your throat closes from an allergic reaction to antibiotics. And then, because of the serum sickness, I developed allergies to all kinds of things, which I'd never had an allergy before, and that was in 2014, and I'm still allergic to things. I'm slowly recovering from the serum sickness. So it's been a long haul, but I totally...
Became a damn snowball for you.
Yes, it did. It totally did. And I also
wiped out the village.
Yeah, really, totally. I wanted to say one thing about, you know, I love rice machines, and an easy way to explain it, everything in the world, living or inanimate, emits a frequency. And when an opera singer shatters a glass with a note, they have matched that frequency of the glass. And so the research in rife machines, they research the frequencies for diseases, and when they find them, when those frequencies are played in your body, it's like shattering the glass. It kills those things. And that's why rife machines work. It's amazing. It's really amazing. They don't...
Yes, it is, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the FDA went with the drug route instead of the rife machine route, but there is still rife machine route.
Or at least didn't go both routes.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Although there are
so it was just like
there are alternative practitioners who use rife machines as part of the therapies that they're doing, and you can get them on your own, but I do have to say it has a really high learning curve. So that's the biggest detriment.
The frequencies, by the way, are given in the book. One of the latter chapters, the frequencies for Lyme disease and also for Morgellons are given in the book. So it's part of our recommendations and to look into it. Not everybody, it's not affordable for everybody, but it's part of what you can do. So, okay, Margie, do you have anything to add to the discussion on antibiotics?
Well, I do from my perspective. I think that if you don't take back your locus of control, you're going to make another illness for yourself. And part of doing that is taking responsibility for your own internal environment, no matter what. So I think it is the antithesis of healing to rage about the physicians, the doctors, the medical association. It's putting oneself in the victim mentality. And that only sets up stress and resentment in our brain and our body. And eventually, we will create another illness. We might not have the illness that we heal from, but we will create accidents. We will create other negative things going on. So I encourage people not to think about that very much. I was lucky enough to have a brilliant physician who, like Robin, said, Margie, I believe you. He worked with me. He knew of my credibility and said, I believe you. We are not trained to help you. He had a PhD in another discipline,
field,
and he also had an accreditation in integrative medicine. So, and I work with physicians, so I take it personally when I hear people making blanket statements about the AMA and doctors. I work with some of the most selfish, smart, wonderful people on the planet, and they go the extra length with people. They are not trained to help us. They don't have the information to help us. And more important, that's sort of putting my loci out there. I need to stay strong inside and know that I'm not going to be a victim. I was triaging a patient the other day, and she didn't like what I had to say. And she said, you make me feel fill in the blanks. And I said, well, I'm really not responsible for how you feel. If you choose to feel that way, that's your choice. And I used what I spoke about last week. You know, I'm sorry to hear you feel that way. But, you know, I don't agree with it, but you have the right to feel that way. So everyone has the right to feel what they have. Everyone has the right to do what they do. It's the antithesis of spirituality and faith to blame other people for our unhappiness. That's the basic concept of healing. We are responsible for our happiness. And the qualities of resiliency helps us to nurture joy and nurture peace. And those are the qualities that will help us get better, not anger, not pointing the finger, not ranting and raving. If anyone got better from an illness, if they continue those behaviors, they're just going to have an accident and get sick again. They're just going to be drawn to negativity. It's unconscious. But if we focus on gratitude and service, Robin is such a great example of this, you'll start getting better because you're going into those higher energy patterns, the right, you know, and then you get better. You're immune.
That's
so that's what I have to say about that.
Thank you. Ethel, Megan, are both of you on? You have any experience with antibiotics you'd like to share?
I tried a few antibiotics, but you know, without protocols, the diet and, you know, the supplements, everything in between, let me tell you, it didn't do a thing. At the end of the day, it always came right back. So.
This is Ethel.
Hi, Ethel.
Richard, I think
Yes.
the assumption is that everybody can take those, but there are some people who cannot take them. Many of the like the tetracyclines, the erythromycins, the penicillins, because of an allergy or, in some instances, the harsh effect on the intestinal tract. And so that's not even an option for a lot of people. I personally have had horrible experiences with antibiotics and do not take them because they actually affect me so badly. I end up like in the emergency room. So that's not an option for some people.
Yes, that's a good point. Thank you, Ethel. Very good point. I never even thought of that. I thought, okay, we all just have to lie down and take the antibiotics, but you're right. It's not an option for some people. Thank you. Okay, thank you. This will conclude this segment.